All right. Well, thank you, Natalie, and to everybody who is watching on Facebook, on Instagram, and also at the Yoga Nova studio. I want to thank you, Natalie, for the invitation to be able to share some really simple techniques and steps that all of us can use to create calm and reduce stress during these times of high anxiety as a result of the COVID virus. These are the same tools and techniques that I developed for the recovery workers and first responders to two of the largest and most deadly disasters of this century. And basically, these easy to follow steps are to help you, help your family, help your friends, and help yourselves also to be able to calm yourselves and extend help and care to others. Actually, right now, each of us is a first responder just because this is a pandemic and reaching each of us worldwide. So these tools worked really well for survivors and victims of the Southeast Asian tsunami in 2004. Also for those who were victims of the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, which also suffered a cholera epidemic following the earthquake. And the tools that you'll be learning here today can really help you as well. Basically, let's start with our first step. The first step is to be able to connect to your own inner healing resources and outer healing resources. Those inner healing resources are available to us with every breath we take. We know from yoga that each breath contains not only oxygen that soothes and calms the body and relaxes the muscles, but there's also a subtle spiritual energy that strengthens the nervous system and soothes and calms the soul. So let's start right now with a few long, slow, deep breaths. And I invite you to continue breathing throughout this program because it takes only 90 seconds of long, slow, deep breaths to be able to activate oxytocin and counteract the stress of cortisol that runs through the physical body. So let's begin breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, in and out. Just notice how the chest rises and falls with each breath you take, bringing a gentle massage to the muscles in the organs inside the body and relaxing the body with each exhale, letting go of stress. Just allow yourself to keep breathing as we go through this particular 5 steps, connecting to inner and outer resources, especially important while we're doing physical isolation to contain the virus, but that doesn't mean we need to be physically isolated from others who we care for and love. And in fact, it's especially important to find ways to reach out to those we care for and who care for us. Because another way to enhance oxytocin is to engage in compassionate, caring conversation with people that you know, and even those that you don't know, and there are ways that you have connections through social media or whatever. How is it that you extend caring and conversation? We'll be talking about that in our 3rd step. Now, when we're connecting, it's important to get information, certainly, but also remember, don't do information overload by watching television all the time to find out what's happening now with the virus. That can actually add stress. Instead, limit how much you're taking in and begin to observe and modulate and notice how different activities and situations are impacting you. This brings us to step 2. which is to begin to observe yourself and the world around you, including the people around you, with what we call mindful awareness. Mindful awareness is enhanced by the breath. And so as you breathe in and out, scan your body, scan your thoughts and your emotions. Notice if you're having experiences of tension in your body, perhaps your heart is pounding or you have a dry mouth. Perhaps you're noticing that you have digestive issues or difficulty sleeping, maybe even nightmares. These kinds of physical symptoms are absolutely normal symptoms when we're facing uncertainty and feeling a little bit out of control. We can soothe those again by becoming aware of them, breathing in to the experience, and then just putting it aside and returning to the breath. It's also very common to notice if you're having emotional feelings, like feeling worried about the future or having doubts about what's going to happen, perhaps feeling irritable or angry or even scared or a little more short-tempered. These are common and normal reactions to feeling out of control. And so it's important to begin to find ways that you can connect with your own inner sense of control, which brings us to the third step. We can take control of becoming aware of what it is that we're going through and find ways to share our feelings with others, and also to listen to others with the ears of our heart, to have compassion for ourselves and others, because we're all in need of self-care right now. Every single human being has a need to feel heard, seen, and understood. So when you are sharing your feelings, continue to stay present with yourself by breathing into your feelings, appreciating what you're feeling, and naming it and sharing in words, whether it's in your journal, writing it down, or sharing with a family member if you happen to be isolated at home together, or perhaps on phone or video conferencing with friends. Remember also that when we name a feeling, it actually contains the energy. It gives us a handle on it. It's important to realize when we share with friends, there's nothing you need to do other than simply listen. Listen with the ears of your heart and keep breathing to help you stay present with them, no matter what it is they happen to be going through. Because as we share our feelings and our experiences with another, we hear ourselves and we gain insight and understanding into what it is we actually need right now. And that actually is the fourth step. To engage insight, intuition, and creativity, to ask for guidance from yourself and your own inner knowing self about what you can do right now to create healing and calm for yourself and others. The experience of intuition and creativity is one of the opportunities for healing right now. One exercise that I often like to do with groups is to have people create a title on 5 pieces of paper, one for the body, one for the spirit, one for the mind, one for our emotions, and then one for our energy. And to brainstorm creating ways that you can attend to and offer care to yourself energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. It's interesting, one tool for self-care that I didn't mention that also increases our capacity to calm ourselves, even if we're alone, and certainly if we're sequestered with family, is to engage in self-massage or touch and massage for someone else. It's interesting how only 10 minutes of self-massage or massaging someone else releases the oxytocin in the body and allows the whole body to begin to soothe and calm. When you add the breath to that, breathing in and out, it's a double dose of relaxation and soothing. Also, engaging in the creative arts is a very powerful way to enhance the experience of bringing forward our creative energy to help ourselves and others. There are very distinct creative tools that are around the world used for healing in every culture I've ever worked with. That includes singing and writing songs, music, playing an instrument, dance and movement, quiet, silent reflection, prayer and meditation, as well as getting out in nature, taking a walk and breathing the fresh air and connecting with nature. And that can even include connecting with a pet if you have a pet at home. So consider what you can do right now, today, to create calm and self-care for you and also for family members and those you care for. We've actually found in psychology that extending care to others actually helps us connect with our own creative, resilient spirit, which brings us to step 5. Empower the self-care for yourself and for all of those around you as you stay in contact with and aware of all of those around you in your immediate environment and those who you are reaching out to via video conferencing or telephone calls or text or emails. This capacity to encourage self-care by becoming a model of self-care yourself encourages others, and it then contributes to the extension of healing to our communities. Now, of course, do become aware and recognize that these practices that I'm describing, connecting to yourself and others in healing ways, being mindful and using the breath to continue to return to your center and be present, sharing feelings, using intuition and insight to create your next step as you ask for guidance on what you can do right now, and then acting on what you know and becoming a model. This actually is what extends and helps all of us. And in closing today, I wanted to keep this really brief. I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to have to do this. Let's see if you can see this right now. This is an example of self-care that was done by a young friend of mine, Georgina, who is the daughter of Bianca Sinclair, who studied, let's see if I can get this in the screen here for both screens, Facebook and FaceTime. Bianca Sinclair took my embodied awareness certification and is a certified facilitator. And this is what her daughter said when she asked, "What can I do to find my peace when I'm upset or worried?" And so as you can see, she says, "I bring both my hands to my belly and breathe in. I keep both my hands on my belly and I breathe out 3 breaths. Then I put my arms down and I close my eyes and say to myself, stay positive. And then I say positive stuff inside my head." So think about what you can do also that can encourage self-care for you, your family, and your friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.